Hello and welcome to another weekly market update after the market closed on 12th of April 2019. Here's where we look at the overall big picture of the stock market as well as the short term. The stock market can tell us a lot, can predict things that are going to happen in 6 months' time, and basically they affect the whole economy, even the property market. So it's good to know where we're at. Is it a bull market, bear market, etc.? As for short term, for people who are trading, you want to be aligned with the short term direction of the market. So here we are. This is the multi-year chart of the S&P 500. It's over several years. You can see along the bottom. There's the price along the right hand side. Each one of these up and down pegs is 1 week of action, smoothed out for us by this blue line here, which is like an average over the last 40 weeks of action. The bull market, by my system, said began 7th November 2016. It said to get out and go to cash there. So far that's proved very accurate, as it has done for the last 36 years now. And so then we went, the system said to go to cash, and that protected us from this massive rut down here, which was on a knife edge between becoming a technical bear market or not. It turned back and did this dramatic rally that I've been commentating on pretty much since it began. And as I've been explaining over the last several weeks now, it's turned the tide from what was looking like looking over the edge into the abyss here into, we could be, probably just a couple of months now from my system signaling this is a brand new bull market. Not there yet, but certainly looking very healthy. We've got the 40-week average now pointing up. The price is moving aggressively higher. It's got a head of steam on it, and it looks consistently overbought, but that doesn't stop it pushing higher. And that's definitely not something to get in the way of. All my other indicators are saying that this thing is moving and moving. Let's look at the short-term chart. I'm going to get on to the short-term. And here we have it. We have that classic 50-day crossing the 200-day. There's a golden cross happened right there in the market. It's been a good predictor. It's gone up. Finished the week on a high note here. Just pushed up higher. Held this high ground here, which has been stepping up into, and to crown it off, it closed up, gapped up high there on a Friday, which is always a bullish sign on high volume here. So no reason to say, yeah, sure, cool off is definitely on the cards and forgivable, but I can't looking at this chart here, say the short-term trend is anything but upwards. Let's look at other things going on here. We had some interesting action from Campbell's Soup, as I say. Well, my system has said predominantly go to cash, but keeping an eye on bargains. I've been pointing this one out for the last couple of weeks now. Had some very, very good action here. It looks like the tide has turned for this stock now. Had a good few days here of just bouncing higher. So, and it's like I say, it's a trophy asset that's gone beaten down, and it's a household name. And there it is. It's come all the way down there. It looks like it's just about on the verge of turning around. Another one I've got my eye on, I'm going to talk of trophy assets while they're cheap, although it's not buying range yet, is General Electric, but still down in the doldrums here, so keeping an eye on that one. Let's just check out copper, because it's like an indicator of the global economy and general things in general. Just like the stock market, it was on the edge of the, just looked like a really evil chart here. Instead of going down there as it looked like it was going to, it's pushed back above it, and more importantly, it's holding the ground here above the 40-week, and now the 40-week is starting to curl upwards. So the fortunes are changing fundamentally, it looks like, as well, for everything. So it's good news, from that point of view. On the subject of commodities, I had the corn trade open, as you know, and it's been a decisive week for that. For those trading the gift system. And there was the buy point right there when it got oversold like that, and it's bounced around on Friday. Had this beautiful update here, and that uptrend is looking pretty good now. It's a profit in place there. Let's check in on Bitcoin, because that had a run at the 40-week moving average, and I was saying it last week here. This is an important point. And it looks like as it got above its 40-week here, it sold off. So it could have been better here, not a decisive finish, or it was very overbought. But still watching, waiting and seeing there, and the 40-week is now starting to curl back around here. So still watching there. It could have been worse. It didn't turn around completely, but it did sell off as it went above its what is now the 200-day on this chart. As you can see here, lots of buying volume though, and interesting to see what happens this week here as the whole cryptocurrency complex here kind of led by Bitcoin, but I'm seeing some good action in some of the other ones here. I just want to see this one in play most of all though. So let's just look at gold before we sign off. Gold here is still in I think in a great place here. We've got this line of support here, which it seems to be respecting, and it's just seems to be just biding its time here while its 40-week average catches up. So here we have this excellent run by gold, and instead of just doing the usual, just turning around, it's kind of hanging in there, waiting in place. We want to see this 40-week curling up and catching up with it, and it could be a run on, good run here for gold. As what gold could be predicting is governments worldwide backing down on, tightening interest and quantitative easing, as frankly they should be, but nobody wants to take the medicine and have that on their resume. So on and on the kicking the can down the road goes, and gold is always going to respond to that positively when anything to do with printing money, etc. So it's hanging in there, and you can kind of just see the bigger picture here from the things we're looking at as just another round of easy money by governments, easy liquidity pushing assets higher, and prolonging that inevitable day of a long overdue recession for now. And that's really the kind of big picture baked in there as we take a look around the charts. So that's all for this time, and I will speak to you next week.